Good morning, and welcome to another episode of the Backwards News Report. Hope you're having a good day. Today we're going to discuss a show called The Morning Joe on MSNBC. This particular segment was them covering the president's recent trip to Europe and the Middle East. They bashed the president quite intensely here in this segment, claiming that he made no accomplishments and that the trip was a total failure in their eyes. I found that a little disingenuous since he pretty much secured $100 billion contract with Saudi Arabia, and he convinced the European Union to sign paperwork committing them to fight terrorism and more intensely. So I call that pretty much a win-win situation, but shortly here we'll hear their opinions on how this was a total disaster. As you look, I found their commentary to be just a little bit disingenuous, especially when Mrs. Mitchell makes a collective effort to confuse Article 5 with the Paris Agreement. So as you'll see, Trump refusing to sign the Paris Agreement, somehow she mixes this up with Article 5 and I think an attempt to confuse the viewers. And this is the type of material that I'm interested in exposing here on the Backwards News Report. So let me tell you a little bit about how this works. First, we will play this material collected from MSNBC in the Morning Joe show, so we could commentary on it now like we're doing now, and we're going to play that forward. Then we're going to take that same clip and we're going to reverse it, revealing what she is saying backwards, why she is talking forward. And you say, why would we do something like this? Well, this is the Backwards News Report, and this is what we do here. See, there's a theory that every time a human being releases conversation like I'm doing now, we release a communication forward from the conscious mind, and we also release a communication backwards from the subconscious mind. These two communications are simultaneous and they are codependent. And the subconscious backwards communication is always truthful. It tells the truth. So if this theory holds water, then this provides us with a valuable tool in detecting disingenuous communication. And this is what we do. So, without further ado, take a look at the footage and you be the judge. Are they telling the truth, or are they trying to deceive us?
And so, Mika, there was a lot of fallout this weekend about that foreign trip. In a tweet, President Trump called his trip a great success, talked about hard work and big results. And that was echoed also by Republican congressmen, including Bob Corker, which was a bit of a surprise, who said it was executed in near perfection. It wasn't. He added that President Trump should be commended for the trip's success. James Mattis also defended the president's tough talk. But Andrea Mitchell, I don't really care what politicians in Washington, D.C. are saying about a trip they know was a complete disaster. You look at the president's actions, you look at the gestures,
the ugly
looked at the bullying of him pushing the newest member out of the way to get in the front of picture. You look at that awkward handshake with Macron, but more importantly, you have Angela Merkel and her opponent saying, America treated us horribly. We can no longer depend on the United States of America. And Europe's going to have to worry about itself. This is I said yesterday, and I really I'd be hard pressed for anybody if somebody can find a more disastrous foreign trip since Kennedy's 1961 summit with Khrushchev. I'd like to know what it was, because this was a disaster. Said it was executed in near perfection. Trump should be commended for the trip's success. James Mattis also defended the president's tough talk, but Andrea Mitchell the bullying of him pushing the newest member out of the way to get in the front picture. You look at that awkward handshake. Itself. This is I said yesterday, and I really
all of their bragging about Riyadh and what they did, and it was an interesting experiment in Riyadh. But the fact that they ignored the Sunni sponsored terror and then go to Europe, which has just experienced terror, and see the reluctance to sign on, and the fact that he refused to lecture the Saudis and the other Arab leaders, but did lecture his NATO allies in Europe, is just stunning.
It's like we said.
And to not commit to the Paris Climate Accord is just so shocking. That's the thing. And he has until June 1st, I guess. He's going to make some decision this week. But the fact that they are wrestling with this, and we saw General Mattis saying over the weekend, well, he's taking it in, he's learned a lot. Everyone trying to give him running room.
To say the least. So if we start with Joe, who thought that this trip was a total failure, Joe seems to be under some kind of pressure. He's shook. He effed up. He deserved it. All of this is related to some kind of lawsuit. And the situation shook him. and inside he feels yellow, like a yellow belly when you're yellow. Sounds like Joe has courage issues. Maybe Joe is lying to us or giving us disingenuous information because he's scared of something or someone. Just something to consider. Sounds like Joe could possibly be compromised. And when we move on to Mrs. Mitchell, she looks like Morris Day. No, she doesn't. I mean, what are these self-esteem issues? And then if we go on further, she also sounds compromised. Sounds like somebody is threatening to possibly release something that she doesn't want people to know about. That they have information or someone, or it's quite interesting information. So forward, she's bashing the president, and in the back of the mind, she's worried about something being put out, and that she was told that she should be cautious. Also, it sounds like she has a conflict, an internal conflict that is occurring. She's an American, and she's worried about American innocent being persecuted, it sounds like. I would say, Mrs. Mitchell, start behaving like a real reporter and just tell the truth. Okay? So, that's what I take away from this. When these television trolls, and that's what I call them, television trolls, who attack our president that we the people elected fairly in this last election in 2016. You might not agree with the politics of George Bush, Obama, or Mr. Trump, Donald Trump, Mr. President, the President Donald Trump, but these were men that were elected by the overall majority, and so you have to respect our system. And so this constant attack on our president is totally unacceptable. And they are just trolling him. They're trolls, bullies. And that's how they come off. Little nerd bullies sitting behind the computer, just spewing hatred and venom because he doesn't have the courage to face up to the jock of the class. So, it's just a sad situation. I would like to see it end in this, everybody go back to doing news. So you guys out there, be warned. The Backwards News Report will play your report backwards, exposing to the public who you really are. If you don't want this, stop lying to the people. We will not tolerate your propaganda anymore. So, I hope you guys join us back here for another episode of the Backwards News Report. And always remember, they say it forward, think it backwards. So join us back here for another exciting episode of the Backwards News Report.